I love both Asheville's downtown and Hendersonville downtown. So this comparison is definitely one of my favorites because these downtowns couldn't feel more different, despite me loving them both. Whenever I find a good restaurant, I am one to tell all of my friends about it. So that's one way that Asheville and Hendersonville are also similar. You're looking at a foodie destination versus more local favorites. What I would recommend for you if you want to get some more valuable data and go a little bit more nitty-gritty, use a website like City Data. It can give you some great information. We're in Western North Carolina. You have pretty easy access to outdoor recreation everywhere you go. That said, there are different access points between Asheville and Hendersonville, depending on what you're looking for. One question I get asked regularly by people looking to relocate to Western North Carolina is, Dylan, should we be moving to Asheville or should we be moving to Hendersonville? And honestly, I completely understand why. When you're looking at moving to Western North Carolina, those are the two names that pop up probably more than any other in your search. And they're close to each other. They both have beautiful downtowns, great mountain scenery, amazing restaurants, outdoor recreation. Honestly, there's a lot to offer, and on paper, they sound really similar. But once you start digging in a little bit deeper, you find out that they're actually two very different places to live. I've had clients come here convinced that Asheville was exactly where they wanted to be. It had all of the things they wanted, only to spend some time in Hendersonville and decide, actually, this might be our future. And I've had others who thought that Hendersonville would be perfect, and then they spent some time in Asheville and decided, hey, we're gonna be a little further north, closer to Asheville. It just feels more right for us. So the truth is, neither one of these towns is better than the other. Ultimately, just like everything else, and I always say, it comes down to you and your lifestyle. But I am here to try to help guide you in the right direction so you might have some better ideas on which area fits your lifestyle best. For those of you that don't already know, my name is Dylan Slattery, and I am your Western North Carolina realtor. I actually grew up in these mountains, and they hold a special place in my heart. So now I make these videos every single week so that you can learn a little bit about mountain life and figure out if it's the right place for you. If you get any value from these videos, please like, follow, subscribe. I'd also love to hear you down in the comments. Say hey, let me know what you'd like to learn about or what you'd like to see. Now let's learn a little bit about the differences between Hendersonville and Asheville. Now, as you can probably guess, there are plenty of differences and similarities between Hendersonville and Asheville. So I'm gonna break it down categorically, and we're gonna break it down that way. Obviously, I'm not gonna cover everything in this video, but it should give you a good jumping off point to figure out if this is where you wanna be or if you wanna look further. Let's start off right with the biggest question, home values. Where can my dollar get me further? And the easy answer for that one is usually Hendersonville. On average, Hendersonville still offers buyers a lower entry point than Asheville does. You can get more property for your money, you can get more house for your money, and you can find newer builds for your money than you would in the Asheville area for comparable properties. Now, recent market data also is continuing to show that home values in Hendersonville are on average below Asheville. So that is a trend that is continuing through. And honestly, I don't really see that changing anytime soon. For example here, a $500,000 budget in Asheville might buy you a renovated bungalow in a cool, hip neighborhood, a townhome, a smaller lot, or an older home with lots of charm. Whereas that same $500,000 in Hendersonville, you can get more square footage, a newer build, you can get a larger yard, or even just acreage outside of town that you can do with what you'd like. But here's where Asheville fights back. In Asheville, you are paying for proximity and you are paying for walkability. You're paying for the restaurants, the breweries, the music venues, the cultural scene that makes Asheville unique. If your goal is maximizing housing for the money, Hendersonville is going to be your best option. But if your goal is maximizing lifestyle within walking distance, Asheville becomes much more compelling and probably more desirable. One of the cool things about Hendersonville is that it also has its own downtown. And Honestly, I love it. I love both Asheville's downtown and Hendersonville downtown. So this comparison is definitely one of my favorites because these downtowns couldn't feel more different, despite me loving them both. So let's start off with Asheville's downtown. Downtown Asheville is energetic. It has street musicians, art galleries, independent bookstores, craft breweries, rooftop bars. It's just got nationally recognized restaurants. The list goes on as far as what downtown Asheville has to offer. There's just always something happening when you go downtown, and it feels like a small city, probably because it is. Now, comparing to Hendersonville, their downtown is more of a main street. It feels more relaxed. Sidewalks are very wide, which is phenomenal. It is built for crowds and walking. You've got flower planters lining the streets. You have art all over the place. You'll find locally operated boutiques, coffee shops, bakeries, and wine bars, and restaurants where you'll see the same faces almost every week. Families just kind of stroll in for dinner, and retirees will gather on benches. It has that much more relaxed feel. You'll find classic car shows, Apple festivals, and holiday events taking up all of Main Street and just really enjoying that outdoor atmosphere that Hendersonville has to offer. Now, neither one is better. As you can see, I kind of described them each with different energies as well. You might have connected with one over the other, and they're just simply different lifestyles depending on what you're looking for and what you're feeling. Huge benefit here, as we go through this entire list, is Asheville and Hendersonville are not that far apart. So choose the lifestyle that you want on a daily basis because you can have either one on a weekend whenever you desire. That said, if you're looking for excitement and variety in your downtown experience, you're looking more for Asheville. But if you're looking for charm and a slower pace, Hendersonville is your best bet. Restaurants is one option that I also love talking about because personally, I love eating. I love good food. I love cooking. I'm here for it. So whenever I find a good restaurant, I am one to tell all of my friends about it. So that's one way that Asheville and Hendersonville are also similar. You're looking at a foodie destination versus more local favorites, all right? So Asheville has actually earned national recognition as one of the country's best small food cities. You'll find James Beard recognized chefs, international cuisine, farm-to-table restaurants, and quite a few of those actually, innovative tasting menus, which are just fun, and dozens of breweries that usually also offer their own food menus as well. So if you're enjoying a new restaurant every weekend and going around trying new places is your thing, Asheville might be hard to beat here. Now, when you're looking at Hendersonville's restaurant scene, it's a little bit different there. It's smaller, it's more local, it's more personal. I was actually talking to a couple just yesterday who was visiting and looking to move to the Hendersonville area, and I was giving them some restaurant recommendations, but many of the places that you go there, the staff is going to know your name, and that is a bit of a difference. There is a stronger community emphasis on comfort food, Southern cooking, and smaller neighborhood cafes with locally owned establishments in the Hendersonville area. You're less likely to feel overwhelmed by a bunch of choices and more likely to become a regular at the places you like the most. For some people, that is exactly what they are looking for. So depending what you're looking for here, the winner could be Asheville for variety, or it could be Hendersonville for that community feel and that Southern lifestyle. If you have only ever visited Western North Carolina on a vacation, then you might think traffic is not an issue. For locals, we know a little bit otherwise. Asheville experiences much heavier congestion than Hendersonville, particularly on I-26, Patton Avenue, Tunnel Road, Merriman, and Hendersonville Road. There are plenty others. Personally, I don't touch Sweeten Creek between 3 and 6. It's just not somewhere I want to be, but rush hour is very real here. Hendersonville, on the other hand, certainly has busier areas, as people have pointed out to me in some of my other videos. I'm not saying Hendersonville does not have traffic. It's just a different kind of traffic than Asheville. It's more localized, usually around US 64, Four Seasons Boulevard, and on Main Street during peak shopping seasons, but overall, in Hendersonville, traffic is lighter and less congested, a little less stressful on trips than what you would find in Asheville on a more regular basis. The difference isn't just measured in minutes, it's really more measured on how your day feels. Schools is a different one to get into because people value different things when it comes to a school district. What I would recommend for you if you want to get some more valuable data and go a little bit more nitty-gritty, use a website like City Data. It can give you some great information. I'm going to go a little higher level here. Rather than declaring on a district being the best or better, it's more helpful to think about fit. Both Buncombe County and Henderson County have highly regarded schools, along with charter and private options. So there are plenty of options depending on what you're looking for. Families often compare individual schools and attendance zones rather than looking at counties as a whole, which is why I recommend websites like City Data. You can kind of get a little bit more nitty-gritty in there. That said, Henderson County is often praised for its community involvement and more suburban feel, whereas Buncombe County offers more geographic variety from suburban schools to mountain communities. That said, the city of Asheville is a small area inside of Buncombe County. It does not take up the whole county, just like Hendersonville does not take up all of Henderson County. So value there, do some of your own research, figure out what you're looking for. Schools are a major fact for your move. I always recommend narrowing your search and narrowing your home search down to specific school zones and schools rather than just making a broad county-wide observation. Outdoor recreation is a fun topic because the truth is no one really loses in this category. We're in Western North Carolina. You have pretty easy access to outdoor recreation everywhere you go. That said, there are different access points between Asheville and Hendersonville depending on what you're looking for. Asheville tends to offer easier access to the Blue Ridge Parkway, river recreation, urban greenways, and quick access to Pisgah National Forest. There's also Bent Creek Experimental Forest that is right there, easy access, great easy place to hike or go mountain biking. It's one that I love. But Hendersonville, on the other hand, gives you access to apple orchards, Jump Off Rock, which is pretty easy hike up there, or you can just drive straight up if you're not feeling the hike. DuPont State Recreation Forest, which is right nearby. You also have Pisgah National Forest right there as well. You have hiking, waterfalls, and scenic country scenery pretty much everywhere you look. The one difference that I will note between the two is that Hendersonville tends to feel a little bit quieter, a little bit more at one with nature once you are outdoors. Trails and parks can feel a little less crowded there, where Asheville has more immediate access points. Hendersonville tends to feel a little bit more peaceful. Healthcare is one of those categories that many relocation buyers don't consider until, oops, I need it. Now, that said, there is great healthcare most places that we're looking in Western North Carolina. That's relatively close. Asheville compared to Hendersonville, I would say Asheville has larger healthcare network, anchored by mission hospitals, along with numerous specialists and medical practices throughout the area. Hendersonville, on the other hand, is home to Advent Health Hendersonville and UNC Health Pardee, giving residents excellent healthcare access and care without always needing to drive to Asheville, which is a big plus. For many retirees, the major reason that they're looking at Hendersonville is because of the healthcare that is so readily available, along with the peace and quiet of the neighborhood. It gives options where you don't always have to go to Asheville for something like healthcare. You can have that right in your own backyard. Again, I would say there's not really a clear winner on this one. Both stand pretty even depending on which kind of healthcare system you are looking for. Nightlife is a category, it's not even close. Asheville wins by far. In Asheville, you're gonna find live music events almost every night. You will find cocktail bars, breweries, rooftop bars, comedy, theater, concerts. There's stuff everywhere throughout the week, throughout the weekend. There's just nightlife in Asheville. Hendersonville, on the other side, has more breweries, wine bars, and occasional live music, usually in a brewery or wine bar. But evenings tend to wind down a little bit earlier in Hendersonville. If your ideal Friday ends at 10 p.m. with a glass of wine, Hendersonville might be a great option for you. But if you're looking to start your evenings at 10 p.m., you're going to want to go up to Asheville. Both cities are actually extremely walkable, both in different ways. Asheville offers multiple walkable neighborhoods like downtown, West Asheville, Montfort, and even parts of North Asheville. Hendersonville's walkability centers more around its beautiful Main Street and the surrounding historic neighborhoods, including the Acosta Trail, which is still being developed, but there's about 9 miles already in the Hendersonville area. If you're hoping to walk to dozens of restaurants, breweries, galleries, and entertainment options, you're probably looking more towards Asheville. If you're looking for a quiet evening stroll to a nice restaurant without too many crowds, Hendersonville's gonna shine. This category actually surprises a lot of buyers. The Asheville Regional Airport sits in South Asheville, near Fletcher, which actually makes it closer to Hendersonville than to a lot of people that live in North Asheville. That means that someone living in Hendersonville would have a 20-25 minute commute to get to the airport, while someone living in North Asheville might have a little bit longer depending on traffic. Again, either way, the commute's not terrible to get to the airport, but for commuters traveling frequently, they might have an easier time in an area like Hendersonville. When it comes to taxes in North Carolina, our property taxes are generally low overall, but tax bills do vary because counties and municipalities set their own rates. Now, in general, and I gotta speak in general terms here, Asheville residents may pay both Buncombe County rates and city taxes if they're within city limits. Whereas in Hendersonville, many buyers choose homes just outside of the city limits, and they're only really paying the county taxes in most cases. Rather than considering one is always cheaper than the other, I highly recommend comparing taxes on specific property that you're considering. I'm gonna break down the best neighborhoods in each of these areas a little bit differently. Let's start off with Asheville. With Asheville, if you love a historic architecture neighborhood, you're looking at Montford. If you like walkability, downtown is going to be a great place for you. Arts and food is West Asheville, hands down. Established luxury, take a look at the Grove Park. And finally, family suburbs, North Asheville is pretty hard to beat within the Asheville area. Now with Hendersonville, on the other hand, if you're looking for walkability, you're also looking at their downtown. Downtown Hendersonville is extremely walkable. If you want mountain views, you'll be looking more at Laurel Park. Golf luxury, Champion Hills. If you're looking for that historic elegance that is just so charming, you're going to be looking more towards Flat Rock. Convenience, it's hard to beat with Mills River. You can get pretty much anywhere you want to go. And space and acreage, you're looking at Edneyville. Let's talk about overall vibe. And this is a category that I think matters most, and it's why I saved it for last. You got to save the best for last. So let's take a look at how I would describe each of these, starting off with Asheville. I would say Asheville is creative, it's independent, it's eclectic, and it's really energetic. If you're looking for an area where every weekend could look different, you might catch a concert one night, explore new restaurant the next, and then go for a hike or maybe just drive the parkway. Asheville is going to be your number one pick. Now, Hendersonville is more comfortable. It's welcoming, it's relaxed. It feels like a warm hug and just a friendly face. It's the kind of place where routines can easily become traditions. Saturday mornings on Main Street, grabbing a cup of coffee or going to the orchards in the afternoon, evenings spent chatting with neighbors on a front porch. It has a rhythm that many people find refreshing, and for a lot of people, it's why they're moving to the mountains to begin with. Neither lifestyle is better. They're just different. And really, that's exactly why so many people wrestle with this decision. It's trying to figure out what are you looking for on a day-to-day basis versus what would you just like on a weekend every now and then. The benefit of Hendersonville and Asheville is you get both. They're really only 20-30 minutes down the road from each other, so you can have it all. You just need to figure out what you want most of the time. One offers energy, one offers breathing room. It just kind of comes down to figuring out what's the best fit for you. Now, after the comparison, you might be sitting there saying, okay, which one should I choose? And honestly, the answer is always the same. It depends on what kind of lifestyle you want to have. If you thrive on energy, you love trying new things, you enjoy music, you want a city that feels creative and constantly evolving, Asheville is hard to beat. It offers a lifestyle that is unique, not just to North Carolina, but to most places in the Southeast. If you're looking for a slower pace, a charming downtown, a strong sense of community, that classic Southeast mountain lifestyle, you're looking more towards Hendersonville, and it's an incredible place to call home. And at the end of the day, it's not about what town is better, it's about which town feels like home. And I would love to hear from you in the comments. What do you choose? Do you like Asheville? Do you like Hendersonville? I don't need to hear the negativities about why you don't like the other, but what do you love about where you love? If you're still struggling on the decision between Hendersonville or Asheville or maybe any other Western North Carolina town, I would love to help give you some guidance. Go ahead down in my description. All of my contact information is there. And that's because every day I hear from people just like you who are trying to figure out where in Western North Carolina they should call home. If you got any value from this video, please like, follow, subscribe, and hit me up in the comments. I love hearing from people just what you liked about the video or what you like about Western North Carolina. Until next time, I'm Dylan Slattery.